started directing because we had a movie made that was, we loved the script and it got made, I don't want to name it, but it was so horrible.
We'll look it up, we'll know.
We can figure that out.
I don't think, I think
we'll be able to figure it out.
He knows the answer.
we had our names off it.
Oh, really?
We'd been out here
they had their
9
names
years
off
and we finally had a
We'll
movie
find it.
made
Okay.
and we saw it and we were like, no, that's not our movie, we want our names off. But we put our brother-in-law's names on. And I remember my agent saying, are you crazy? You have 0 credits. Get a credit. It's a studio film. I said, I'd rather die with no credits than have that as my only credit. And the next movie that we were up, which was Dumb and Dumber, when we went in the room, they said, who's directing? So we are. And they're just, no one questioned it.
When you say we, you're referring to your
my brother
Bobby.
and I, yes.
But now you're on your own making films. Why?
Well, I mean, honestly, the truth is, my brother had a tragedy in his immediate family, a big one, and he had to step away. He needed time, and at that moment, you know, he just didn't want to. He needed space and time, and so at that moment, I ran into the guys who, Brian Hayes Curry and Nick Vallelonga, who told me this story. It's about a guy with a 6th grade education, Italian-American bouncer, who's racist, driving a black concert pianist with 5 doctorates through the Deep South. And it's them gradually realizing they actually have something in common. Are you kidding me? This is a home run. I love this story. And so I just jumped into it. But believe me, this movie, it would have been better if my brother were involved. I'm telling you the truth. He always makes things better. I miss working with him. When we were writing something about Mary, we got to it was an old script by Ed Decter and John Strauss, by the way, that was great. We rewrote them, my brother and I. No, and they were old friends of ours, and we knew that story. But anyway, we were rewriting it, and we're on page probably 45, 50, and we hit a wall, and the wall was, well, you know she's going to end up with Ted. It's just, we knew it, and I couldn't go on. I was like, we spent like a week or two looking at each other like, why even make it? Everybody knows they're going to end up together. And during that week, I happened to watch Bottle Rocket, which is Wes Anderson and Owen Wilson's first movie. And I'm watching it, and it opens up where they break him out of a mental institution, and Owen has a 5-year plan. This is what we're going to do. First year, we're going to rob, mom and pop stores. Second year, we're going to move into, banks. And after 5 years, we're going to have enough money to retire. And they set off to start robbing places. And the first night, they stop at a motel, and Luke Wilson sees the chambermaid, falls in love with her, and they don't leave. They just let it go that way. They let the story, and I promise you, they didn't sit down and say, hey, what if it's about a bunch of guys who want to do robberies and then fall in love with the chambermaid?
The other way around.
You could see that they found it. And I remember, why does she have to end up with Ted? And I got my brother, said, you got to watch this movie, and we learned from it. I said, shouldn't have to end up with Ted. From that point forward, all the guys, we were fair to them. We wrote, we didn't know. We honestly didn't know who she'd end up with until page 100, when we had fooled ourselves and the audience. Where it was going to be Brett Favre, and she was going to get him. And at that point, we said, "Hey, wait a second. Now, let's give her Ted. I mean, now we've already done it. We've done the work. How about Ted? It'd be a nice surprise." And it was just a really good lesson. In
Did Fox give you good notes? I seem to remember them saying you can't have the guy, jerking himself off.
Yeah, we got a lot of resistance to that. That it would be NC-17, and we said no, because they said R is, if it's for titillation, it's NC-17. If it's for humor, it's R, and we had to fight. I have to say, Bill Mechanic stood up on that one, and we were in a meeting.
Who then was the head of
He was the head,
Film
and we were in a meeting, and we had gone probably a couple months where they said, you got to cut this. And we're like, we're not cutting it. Please don't make us cut this. We think, give it a chance, but we'll have a way, if it doesn't work, because it could have easily not worked, could have been a disaster, where we get out of it, get rid of it, and move on. They kept, no, don't do it. You're wasting money. Don't do it. And finally, I looked at Bill one day, and I said, Bill, how many movies you guys making this year? He said, I think he said 22. I said, how about make 21? Let us make one.
Great comment.
And he goes, and I swear, he looks at us, he goes, all right, let him do it. Let him go. And that was it. We never heard another peep.
I am Bo Burnham.
I'm Tamara Jenkins.
I'm John Krasinski.
Hi, I'm Pete Fairley.
Thanks for watching The Hollywood Reporter.
The Hollywood Reporter on YouTube.
On YouTube.
On YouTube.